Chapter 18, Mishnah 1. The first 6 Mishnahs in this chapter continue to discuss the laws of Beis HaPras. This Mishnah discusses grapes that grow in a Beis HaPras. Although Beis HaPras is Tameh, produce that grows there will not usually become Tameh. Since produce cannot become Tameh unless it has been prepared by becoming wet with one of 7 specific liquids after it was dispatched from the ground. A person can avoid making produce from a Beis HaPras Tameh by ensuring that he does not make it wet. Grapes, though, are different. The rabbis decreed that grapes harvested to be pressed into wine become subject to Tumah as soon as they are harvested, even if they never became wet. Because of this, wine grapes that grow in a Beis HaPras should in theory become Tameh as soon as they are harvested, since their harvester becomes Tameh when he enters the Beis HaPras, and the grapes are subject to Tumah as soon as they are harvested. He will make the grapes Tameh when he touches them. This Mishnah discusses how such grapes can be harvested without becoming Tameh. How do we harvest grapes that grow in a Beis HaPras without making them Tameh? First, the harvesters must make themselves tahor from biblical corpse tumah. That is, we sprinkle mei hatas, water mixed with the ashes of the paraduma, on the people and on the utensils that will be used to harvest the grapes. We repeat the sprinkling process 4 days later, and they immerse in a mikveh. The harvesters are now purified from biblical corpse tumah, and they may harvest the grapes, and the grapes will not become tameh. Although the rabbis decreed that dry grapes can become tameh, that applies only to biblical tumah. The tumah of a Beis HaPras, though, is only a rabbinic decree, and dry grapes are not subject to it. Therefore, although the harvesters become tameh when they enter the Beis HaPras, they do not transmit that tumah to the grapes that they touch. However, these harvesters are permitted only to remove the grapes from the Beis HaPras to a tahor area. Other people who do not enter the Beis HaPras must take the grapes from the harvesters and bring them to the winepress. This is because at the winepress the grapes will certainly become wet from all the wine there, which will make them subject to tumah on the biblical level. At that point, the grapes will become tameh even if they are touched by a person who is tameh only with the tumah of a Beis HaPras. Therefore, only people who did not enter the Beis HaPras and are thus completely tahor may carry the grapes to the winepress. In addition, if these harvesters touch those people who are planning to carry the grapes to the press, the carriers also become tameh, and they may not carry the grapes to the press. All this is in accordance to the opinion of Beis Hillel. Beis Shammai disagree. They hold that dry grapes can become tameh even with the rabbinic tumah of a Beis HaPras. Therefore, the only way grapes can be harvested in the Beis HaPras without becoming tameh is if the harvester does not touch the grapes. He may not even touch the sickle, since it is made of metal, and if he touches it, he will become tameh and pass that tumah to the grapes. Beis Shammai state how the grapes can be harvested. Beis Shammai say to harvest grapes in the Beis HaPras, the harvester should hold the sickle through a wrapper of palm bast, which is a material that cannot become tameh. Or he can cut the grapes from the vine with a sharp stone, which cannot become tameh, instead of with a sickle. After the grapes are cut, he should not collect them in the small baskets usually used for grapes, since those baskets can become tameh. If he touches them, they will become tameh and make the grapes inside them tameh. Rather, he places them in an olive basket, which is a utensil so large that it cannot become tameh, and he may bring this basket to the press himself. We are not concerned that he will touch the grapes at the press, because his use of this unusually large basket will remind him that he is tameh and may not touch the grapes. The next Tana holds that not every Beis HaPras vineyard can be harvested for wine without its grapes becoming tameh. Rabbi Yossi said, when do these words apply? That is, when do Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel suggest methods to press grapes of a Beis HaPras without making them tameh? Only for a vineyard that becomes a Beis HaPras. That is, it was a vineyard before it was a Beis HaPras. For such a vineyard, the sages seek a way to keep the grapes tahor. But if someone plants a vineyard in a field that is already a Beis HaPras, its grapes are to be sold in the market to be eaten rather than to be used for wine. Since he knowingly planted the vineyard in a place of tumah, he is penalized that his grapes are subject to tumah of a Beis HaPras. The only way to prevent them from becoming tameh is to harvest them with the intention that they will be eaten, in which case they are not subject to tumah until they become wet.